welcome back to the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling, and we are covering the news, rumors, and everything else in the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment today. I want to let you guys know, however, this being YouTube, YouTube likes this algorithm. You know the deal. Hit the like button if you like the video, if you like the channel, if you like anything. If you like tomatoes, hit the like button and help the YouTube algorithm let other wrestling fans know about this channel. It does help. I appreciate it very much. Let's talk about what's going on. There's a big week coming up here in the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment, and let's dig into some of the news and rumors that have been going on over the weekend. Right off the bat, I got to talk about Shinsuke Nakamura and the Great Muta having their match in Pro Wrestling Noah on New Year's Day. I was able to see the match. I actually had a hard time trying to track down how to get it. I went on Noah's site, and the ability to buy the pay-per-view, I couldn't get it. It just kept failing for some reason, but I eventually was able to get a way to view it. And I gotta say, the presentation was amazing. The entrance for Shinsuke Nakamura, the entrance for the Great Muta was great. They started with some mat wrestling, and then things got brutal, things got violent, as Muta matches do. There was blood, there was mist, there was people sucking out mist and blowing it back in other people's faces. And at the end of the whole show, it was Shinsuke Nakamura picking up the bit, which was actually a surprise to me. But Shinsuke Nakamura does get the win over the Great Muta at the big Noah show at the Budokan. Looked like a really good crowd, looked like a really good setup. I will say this for Noah probably has, I think, my favorite staging setup and for any Japanese company, and that includes New Japan, who really need to up the, AEW is getting a new set. New Japan, I think it's high time that they kind of do something with their stage presentation. Some of their stages for some of their shows are a little bit uninspired, and they used to have really good ones. But after the match, there was a interview where the Great Muta said some things that I couldn't quite hear because he doesn't speak English as a first language, but they sounded a little sus to me. I don't think the Great Muta is going to worry about being canceled, but I did like Shinsuke's post-match comments on it, and I mean, hopefully this leads to something in the future. An interesting thing Shinsuke said, though, is that, he might be in Japan for the next couple of days, and he hasn't ruled out him possibly being at Wrestle Kingdom. Now, I know Rocky Romero has said that there's going to be some big surprises at Wrestle Kingdom 17. We already know about Kenny Omega. We already know about the FTR defending their tag titles. We already know Carl Anderson, who's a WWE wrestler, will be there against Tama Tonga for the Never Openweight Championship defense. And of course, Mercedes, formerly known as Sasha Banks, another former WWE star. So we are Wrestle Kingdom. I think this would be cool in the future for Wrestle Kingdom if Wrestle Kingdom did become this kind of convergence of a lot of wrestlers from different territories. And it's always been that way. But now we're getting AEW stars. We're getting contracted AEW stars, contracted WWE stars on the same show. I think this Wrestle Kingdom 17 might be the first time this has ever actually happened, that you will have a WWE contracted stars and AEW currently contracted stars on the same show. It's worth seeing just for that dynamic alone. It's just amazing. Would there be an amazing thing to see Shinsuke Nakamura show up at Wrestle Kingdom 17 in a surprise? I'm hoping so, and I'm hoping that this continues the pro wrestling multiverse that I have been very much interested in, and that is WWE under Triple H. Obviously, the thing with Shinsuke and Muta, obviously him letting Carl Anderson be at Wrestle Kingdom. Obviously, a lot of those things may look like WWE may not be doing quite the Forbidden Door thing. I don't think they're going to be having a pay-per-view with Pro Wrestling Noah anytime soon, but I do think it might be possible that under the new regime in WWE that they may be letting some of their wrestlers do one-offs like this, which I've said for the longest time, you might as well do it, especially back a couple years ago when they had that bloated roster. You got all these guys who aren't doing anything. Why don't you send them over to Japan and have them get a big show and be in front of a big crowd and learn a different style and learn something they can bring back to WWE? It'd be cool. AEW's doing it. We'll see what happens on January 4th. Charlotte Flair has returned to WWE. She's won the championship. Sometimes I wonder, there's old things that we used to blame on Vince that don't seem to be Vince things. They're just WWE things. But the fan reaction to this has been mixed that I've seen online. I did not see the match yet. I have not watched it yet on YouTube. But I did see the news reports about Charlotte returning and Charlotte being champion. This does throw in a monkey wrench for a lot of plans for WrestleMania, apparently, because there were some plans about Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. It doesn't look like that's going forward. I don't know what Charlotte will be doing heading into WrestleMania. What's going to happen with Bianca Belair? What's going to happen with some of the other wrestlers who are the top tier female stars in WWE's roster? We don't know. But apparently the Charlotte Flair thing was a big surprise. This definitely shocked everybody else. Triple H continuing to, again, outdo Tony Khan right now. And Tony Khan's on game with having just shocking debuts almost every single week on WWE TV. So far it's cool. But the long term, they're going to run into the same problem AEW did. After you don't have any more people to shockingly debut, then it comes down to the quality of your show, and is your show going to be able to hold the attention of people without all those shocking debuts? Unfortunately, the phenomenal AJ Styles had an injury at a house show over the weekend. It does look like he injured his ankle. It's a 100% legit injury. Some people thought it was a work. I don't know why, when the only footage of it was some fan's cell phone camera. So apparently that's a real thing that happened. I did see the video. It does look like AJ will be out. I haven't seen yet how long he's going to be out, but I would expect that hopefully it'll be at least a couple weeks if it's a minor injury, and hopefully AJ will still be around for WrestleMania this year. Another big thing about WrestleMania and WWE, big news coming out about that. We've got the news that possibly Logan Paul might wrestle John Cena at WrestleMania, which, you know what? Those two guys, it's funny, one of my viewers said this the other day on a live stream we were doing and talked about Logan Paul. He has the potential of being a John Cena type of star, and here we are now with the rumor that John Cena might face Logan Paul for WrestleMania. Some people have said it's an absolute. I don't take it as an absolute until I hear WWE announce it, so that would be an interesting match. It does look like they're shaping up this year's WrestleMania to be a big star-studded affair. Especially good, stole the rumors roaming around if The Rock can get his schedule together. The Rock taking on Roman Reigns in the main event for the championship. Lots of rumors about whether or not the WWE Championship is going to be split up. We're probably going to hear more about that after the Royal Rumble heading into Elimination Chamber, whether there is a plan to split the belts, or as I think they should do, because it's clearly been proven now, they don't need two championships for both brands. I think it's a lot better. I've always thought it was a lot better to have one championship of the company and have the champion be like the champions back in the territory, like Ric Flair was in the territory days and Harley Race. They would travel to different territories, but they were the man in the company. I think Roman has proved that, him being the man in WWE over the last year, and he can go to SmackDown and he can go to Raw and he can defend the title against people from either brand. I think a lot of fans have liked that. I think I've liked the less confusing problems of having multiple world champions and multiple top guys, whatever. So we'll see what happens. But again, the rumor is that WWE may be considering splitting the Universal and the World Championships again. And the last bit of things I want to talk about today is Dragon Lee. A lot of people asked me about it and what my thoughts were on Dragon Lee signing with WWE. He's going to be on the NXT brand. Apparently, he's going to be the highest paid wrestler on NXT, which does bring up an issue about pay on NXT, because if Dragon Lee is getting paid a lot of money, then other people are going to be like, where's mine? WWE may be setting itself up for a bit of an issue there. But Dragon Lee, Yu Lee, as he was known for a little brief period of time, mostly known to me for his work against Hiromu Takahashi in CMLL and, of course, in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He infamously had that match that I was there for in San Francisco where Hiromu broke his neck. Dragon Lee is one of the best performers, one of the best luchadors of the last generation. Him going to WWE NXT, we'll see. How's it going to work out? We don't know. I mean, it could be. I feel this is almost kind of like a repeat of Kushida. Because Kushida came in. Kushida was one of the best junior heavyweights in the world. He was basically king and ace of the New Japan Juniors division. He then went to WWE, went to NXT, did some things, but ultimately after a couple years, it just never really amounted to anything. And now he's back in New Japan. I don't know if the same thing is going to be for Dragon Lee, that same kind of scenario, but I'm not going to be surprised if it winds up being the same way. But we don't know, because we can't predict the future. We don't have a crystal ball. So we'll have to see what happens with Dragon Lee. I'm happy for him. You know, if he's getting that pay, if you're getting the money, I've always said this. If I was a wrestler, if I ever got into wrestling, I probably would go to WWE. If they wanted me there, I'd accept the contract. I'd accept the 3-year deal, get my name up there with the other wrestling fans, do my time there, make the money, and then once I had enough money that I was cool for life, I'd go, and depending on who you are, you can be comfortable at certain levels of living. If I had enough money that I could live a middle class or upper middle class lifestyle for the rest of my life after working at WWE for a couple of years, I'd probably do that and then go back and do the wrestling I wanted to do at the other companies and help build up the other companies. That's what I would do as a wrestler. I think a lot of other wrestlers like John Moxley have that kind of mentality. But again, we're going to see what happens with Dragon Lee in NXT and WWE. Wishing him the best. That's it for this news break. I'm also going to be talking about Wrestle Kingdom a lot over the next couple days because Wrestle Kingdom is coming up on January the 4th. It looks like there's a lot of stuff that might happen at that show. We'll see whether the rumors are true or not. And of course, AEW's got its very big New Year's show, the debut of their new set, the debut of their new look, and Chris Jericho is going to be taking on Ricky Starks, which is a pivotal match for Ricky Starks in his career, and AEW continuing to grow its own homegrown stars now, 3 years into the thing, and really seeing whether or not Jungle Boy and Ricky Starks and MJF and Wardlow are now, they're all taking center stage now, and I think we're going to see where AEW's direction, at least for the next 6 months, is going to be coming up this Wednesday, and what I'm going to call North American Wrestle Kingdom, essentially, on January the 4th. But I want to know what you guys think about these stories. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Until then, I will see you guys here for more news, rumors, and commentaries right here on Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.